or college names. Each speaker is allotted 4 minutes, totaling 8 minutes per team. The speaker should not exceed 4 minutes nor speak for less than 2.5 minutes. Marks will be deducted for speakers speaking for less than 2.5 minutes or exceeding 4 minutes. A warning bell will sound at 3.5 minutes and a long bell at the end of the 4th minute. Each team will be evaluated based on the following 4 criteria. Content. There should be proper beginning, body and conclusion with logical flow. Depth of ideas to be supported with facts and figures, relevant data and reasoning. Body language, like the posture, gestures and eye contact. This includes not holding the mic while speaking. The mic will be set and adjusted according to each speaker. Full range of voice, which includes articulation, speed, intonation and emphasis. Now, I will specify the rules for the round 2, the deep dive round. This round is designed to assess the participants' depth of understanding and ability to respond beyond the prepared content. This round will commence immediately after round 1, with both team members remaining on stage. This round will be conducted in the form of a question and answer session. Exoration, the Speakers Club of XIME, will pose questions to assess the speaker's knowledge on the given debate topic. Each team will be asked 3 questions. Each speaker should answer at least 1 question based on their argument in the preliminary round. 5 minutes will be allotted to answer the 3 questions. It will be like a rapid fire round. Judges will evaluate the students based on the quality of their responses, including correctness, clarity, conciseness and body language while responding. Round 1 carries a weightage of 60% and round 2 carries a weightage of 40% in the final consolidated scores. The final winner of the Maria Philip Future Leader Debate 2025-26 will be determined based on cumulative scores from both these rounds. The best speaker will be determined by the highest individual scores.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to let the brilliance unfold. We wish every team the very best. Except for the first team, we request all the participants to move to classroom number 5. Our volunteers will guide you. Yeah. May we now invite team number 1 to the stage. Team 1.
Judges, please note this is team 1 on stage. We request 1B to occupy the hot chair. One A, are you ready? The timer starts now. Stop the timer.
Right.
Yeah, the timer starts now.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be speaking for the motion. Imagine it's the 1930s. Humanity just discovered nuclear power and decided no international treaties, no safety regulations, and no oversight. Just let every country and every company race to build the biggest bombs possible because innovation and competition demand it. We know exactly what would happen. Dangerous spread of weapons, terrifying close calls, and the ever-lurking constant shadow of accidental or even intentional destruction. This is precisely where we stand with unregulated AI today. Let's turn to the wisdom of the greatest minds in technology. In early 2026, Warren Buffett had warned us, comparing AI to nuclear power. When humanity invented the nuclear bomb, we let a genie out of the bottle. AI is something similar. The genie is halfway through, and once it's fully out, we cannot put it back. Stephen Hawking was even more direct. He said, the development of fully intelligent artificial systems will spell the end of human race. Because AI would redesign itself at an ever-increasing pace, completely outpacing slow human evolution. The real risk, he explained, was not malicious intent, but that of competence, a super-intelligent system pursuing its goals so effectively that humanity becomes collateral damage. Beyond these long-term dangers, we can already see the chaos unfold. Every time during our elections, AI-powered deepfakes flood across continents, spreading misinformation and lies about our political leaders. During our previous elections, such content managed to sway the public opinion, leading to them losing their trust in the government. In a democracy, AI-enabled chatbots continue to push vulnerable users towards self-harm, whereas AI's frauds, scams, misinformation campaigns, and cyber attacks are much harder to tackle than their human variants. Due to the scale at which they operate, their perfect personalization and almost no detectable errors. The chaos extends further into our economies and our societies. According to 2026 Goldman Sachs research, over 300 plus million jobs are expected to be displaced by AI in just the next decade. Just let that figure sink in. We don't give a knife to a child because the child lacks the maturity and the competence to utilize it safely. Humans are similar to children in the face of AI. Without any regulations, bad actors, terrorists, or even state can easily design biological weapons or surveillance systems. And once such systems are released, they cannot be taken back. The opposition may argue that true innovation requires complete freedom and that past technologies flourished without any heavy regulations. But unlike the electricity or the internet, AI can redesign itself and act on its own. Transparency checks, safety requirements, and risk management do not stop progress. They make safe progress possible, just like the rules for nuclear safety or even aviation safety for that matter. The 2026 AI Safety Report, prepared by over 100 plus individuals, including Joshua Bengio, highlights escalating risk. We cannot gamble the survival of humanity based on good intentions and market forces alone. In conclusion, unregulated AI will only lead to peril and chaos. The stakes could not be higher. Our choice today is very simple. Either control the future or let the future control us. Thank you.
1A, you may take the hot chair. 1B, please come forward.
Hello.
1B, are you ready?
Yes.
The timer starts now.
I still remember when I first tried cooking my grandmother's special recipe. I had ingredients. I followed every step, but still, it didn't taste the same. So I called her and asked, what did I miss? Then she answered, it's not just about rules and instructions. It's about understanding and experimenting. And that stayed with me. Because progress never comes from a rigid control. It always comes from learning, understanding, and evolving. A very warm good morning to one and all present here, respected judges and all the participants. Today I stand hereby speaking against the motion on this topic. Well, let me be clear that AI has got risks, but claiming it will only lead to chaos isn't a prediction, or it's just a fear presented as certainty. Coming to my first argument, that is, innovation can't be grown in an environment of fear. From printing press to the internet, every transformation technology has once feared, but yet today they drive progress. According to PwC, AI can rise to $15 trillion, adding to the global economy by 2030, which means it has boosted the country's GDP by 15%. Coming to AI-assisted screening, it has increased the early breast cancer detection, around 81% compared to 74% without it, which means it has reduced the later diagnosis by 12%. Coming to my second point, that jobs will disappear, but it will evolve. The real divide will be between those who know how to adopt AI and who don't. It's not longer possible to say that I'm a doctor. Why do I require AI? Because the best doctors in the world will be those who know how to use AI to treat the patients. Come to my final argument, that is all about control, and it's about smart control. We often say that AI must be controls, but who controls it? If government controls AI, it risks surveillance. If company controls it, it risks monopoly. So the best solution is balanced regulation between the government, company, expert and the society, because over-regulation doesn't rule down the risks, and also it slows down the progress and concentrates the power. And this leads me to ask certain questions. If AI is only the danger, why is it saving lives today? If AI is only the disaster, why is it improving education? We have speed. We have scale, we have system. But tell me, sir, where is the control? Tell me, madam, where is the control? AI can calculate, but humans can care. AI can predict, but humans can imagine. AI can assist, but never replace the mankind. Technology is created by us, and it will always remain in the reflection of us. So the actual question is not whether AI will lead us to chaos. The question is what kind of future are we deciding to create with it? Will we choose fear or will we choose the progress? Because the future is not dependent on artificial intelligence but the AI intelligence. I repeat, the future is not decided by artificial intelligence but the AI intelligence. My opponent just now asks you to fear about the future, but I ask you to shape it and build it. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 1, for the strong start. You may now be seated among the audience. Please remain seated. Yeah, please be there on the stage. The round 2 will start. Yeah.
Speakers, but the three questions.
Yeah. Team 1. The Speakers Club will ask you now 3 questions. Yeah.
So hello to all. So my first question is it possible to create global AI regulation? Why or why not?
Well, first, when you want to create something on a global scale, it's a very, how do I put it, it's a very vague question by itself. But the thing with AI is that it's not a tool, it's more of an agent. When you're trying to globalize an agent on an industrial scale, you may face challenges, but again, it truly will power innovation, and that's true for anything, including something as good as AI, especially with it being an agent. So yes, I do think it's very much possible for us to create a global revolution with AI.
Okay, so is the peril of unregulated AI greater than the peril of slowing down AI-driven medicines for diseases like cancer or environmental protection and climate change?
Yes, very much so. I would like to highlight this with an example. The European companies in general have different ingredient lists when they sell food across different countries. The same foods from Nestle or Cadbury, the exact same foods have different ingredient lists, same in India and in Europe. In both cases, it's the same company. But why are the ingredients different? It's because of the regulations. The real question should be that, do we value our safety, do we value humanity enough that we are truly sacrificing it just for some extra progress? That should be the real question here. I truly think it is very much important to value slow but safe progress over dangerous and unregulated ones.
Okay. So what do you think? Will AI automation spread leadership opportunities or concentrate power among a few people?
It will obviously give us the opportunities, because many of the reports recently, let's say the AI main man, the Jeffrey Hinton has told that it may a bit lead to 10 to 20%, it may lead to difficulties, but the end of the day, it's in our hand. As I stated in my speech, it can assist, but the final decision will be in our hands. So I don't think so it will slow down any opportunities. The only thing is to evolve. It takes time, but when it is all set, even the internet, even the mobile phones, starting we were not that much aware of these things, but nowadays we are very used to this. So at the end of the day, it's not like man versus machine. It's man with machine. The creation of man can never replace the creation of God. With that, I would like to end here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team 1. You may now be seated among the audience. We request Team 2 to come up on the stage, please. B, please occupy the hot chair. 2A, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
The time starts now.
In the 14th century, ships sailed into European ports carrying spices, silk, and riches from distant lands. Yet, hidden amongst them was something far more deadlier. You see, Europe in those times did not have any quarantine laws. Unseen, aboard those vessels were rats infected with the plague. As these ships docked into cities, this plague spread relentlessly. Within a few years, the Black Death would go on to wipe out nearly a third of Europe's population at that time. And it was only after 1 million people had died did humanity finally consider implementing quarantine laws. History teaches us a very important lesson here. When new forces arrive without regulations to control them, the consequences can be devastating. Yet, here we are, all ready to make that same mistake again. Honorable judges, esteemed chairs, and my beloved audience, good morning. I stand firmly in support of the motion at hand here today that unregulated AI can lead to peril and chaos. Allow me a few minutes of your time to convince you why. Firstly, AI erodes the very creativity upon which our entire civilization has been built. Thousands of years ago, the very first man engraved markings onto clay tablets. From those fragile markings awoke our entire civilization. Every poem written, every theory discovered, every invention built stands upon the numerous trials, errors, dreams of the billions of people that came before us. Human culture did not awaken in a night. It is a flame that we have been carrying across centuries, from minds to minds, from generation to generation. Yet, here we are, all ready to give up the flames of our civilization over to literal machines. The problem is no longer, will AI overtake humans? The real problem now is that us human beings will soon surrender our roles as creators, as inventors, as people who imagine over to artificial intelligence. Secondly, and more importantly, the question of our privacy. Each day, us human beings generate thousands of data in the form of messages, tweets, searches, etc. These data are then given to systems that power AI. These systems are controlled by powerful corporations and institutions. If left unchecked, AI can soon deter our thinking and affect our decision making and control societal narratives as a whole. When that happens, privacy becomes a commodity that can be exploited for power and money. When our privacy disappears, our freedom disappears with it. Thirdly, lastly, and perhaps most importantly, the silent environmental burden we are placing upon our planet. Training one large AI model from start to finish emits about 626,000 pounds of carbon dioxide. That is nearly 5 times the carbon emissions for a lifetime for a mid-sized car. During a time when our planet is already going through such environmental stress, such innovation, such power-hungry innovation is not innovation reality. It is suicide. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, AI provides an extraordinary promise to mankind for technology, for science, and for education. But let's remember one thing. Innovation without guardrails is not innovation. It is negligence. Soon we will find ourselves in a position where the same systems that we made to serve us will soon control us. I conclude my speech and argument here. Thank you for your time.
Tubi, are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
In 1940s Germany, freedom of speech was not a right. It was a risk. Information was controlled, voices were silenced, and truth was decided only by those who had power. This did not happen overnight. It happened gradually, in the name of order, in the name of control. And today, when we call for strict regulations, we must ask ourselves, are we truly protecting society, or are we walking down a path history has already warned us about? Respected judges and members of the audience, greetings. It truly is an honor to speak a few words against this very relevant motion. Let me start with a question. Who is going to regulate AI? Panel, notice how the proposition spoke on and on about regulations but failed to mention who will actually be in charge. Will it be the government? Will it be a separate international body? Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have we seen this happening? How many times have systems of control been imposed in the name of safety only to slowly take away our freedom? The proposition happened to mention about privacy. Our data is being collected, stored, and used as I speak, and by powerful corporations. Regulations will not take that power away, but rather place it right into the hands of those who can afford it. Today, my very worthy opponent spoke about creativity as a flame that is being passed out through generations, and yet that flame has never remained unchanged. It has only gotten stronger with every tool we have ever created. The pen did not destroy creativity. The printing press did not silence imagination. The internet did not end human thought. They amplified it. AI is no different. It does not take the flame away, but rather gives more people the chance to carry it. Today, someone who cannot paint can still create art. Someone who cannot write can express themselves. Someone with nothing but a thought can bring it to life, because creativity has never been about the tool. It has always been about the human behind it. AI does not replace the creator, the thinker, the dreamer, but rather gives more people the chance to become one. Let us step aside from fear for a moment and come back to reality. Pranav Rajpurkar, a student, built ChexNet, an AI model that can detect pneumonia from chest x-rays. So many student-led teams all across the world are trying to make the world a better place. Somewhere, someone's mother is being diagnosed earlier. A family gets to spend more time because an AI model built by a student caught something a little sooner. If artificial intelligence was not this easily accessible to everyone, do you really think this would have been possible? Even if my proposition chooses to ignore the fact that AI can increase productivity by 20 to 40%, even if the proposition chooses to ignore the fact that AI is revolutionizing healthcare, agriculture, and various other fields, the proposition cannot ignore this. Innovation is no longer limited to a few powerful institutions. It now lies in the hands of everyone. I would like to conclude by saying that the entirety of the proposition speech is based on fear. Today, we were told to fear freedom, to fear progress, to fear a future shaped by innovation. But history tells us otherwise. History tells us that innovation thrives in freedom, not restriction. Because when we choose fear over progress, we don't just slow down humanity. We limit the human potential itself. Thank you all for listening, and have a great day ahead.
The speaker team will now ask you 3 questions, please.
So, hello. My first question is chaos in the labor market an unavoidable result of the technology itself, or a failure of social policy rather than AI regulation?
Can you please repeat?
Is chaos in the labor market an unavoidable result of the technology itself, or a failure of social policy rather than AI regulation?
It is a failure of social policies. Given the growth of AI, the policies our governments make have not been able to match up to that standard. AI is growing exponentially. Our policies remain the same. It's stagnant. So when AI is growing, if our policies are not updated accordingly, the chaos in the labor market can be answerable only by the government, not AI itself. So we all know this. Like, we have laws that have been around for 60 years, but the technology and advancements 50, 60 years ago and today is wildly different. So our laws need to come up with the technological advancements. Technology should not go down to the current policy web. Policies should come up to the level of AI technology and the advances they made in technology.
So could banning or restricting AI in certain sectors will lead to black market AI usage?
I think we as human beings always have a tendency to go behind things that are restricted from us. If drugs are restricted, we tend to use it more. If guns are restricted, we tend to go behind it more. So I genuinely believe that if AI is restricted from certain segments, people will still find a way to use it. So it's better to give everyone the freedom to use it. And especially, as I mentioned in my speech, regulations will give that power away, give whatever power we have over AI right now back to the powerful corporations, back to governments, and it will be misused. So in my opinion, I think AI should be easily accessible to everyone so we can all grow as a society and grow as humanity.
Okay, so tell me, do you think too much reliance on automation can weaken human decision making? Too much reliance on automation can weaken human decision making?
Like the opposition I mentioned in the speech, when technology grows, human decision making and humanity as a whole grows with it. So we are setting the bar higher now. So when the convenience for technology reaches a certain point, our aspirations, our dreams become much higher. For example, when the wheel was invented, the first invention of mankind, the wheel, now was much more convenient, right? You need not pull rocks up to caves, nothing like that. So no one thought that the wheel was restricting humanity's imagination. From that very same wheel, we invented diesel motors, diesel engines, we made cars. So from those cars, now we have electric cars, and we do not know what we will have in the future. Perhaps flying cars, from there even teleportation. Everything is within the scope of our imagination. Everything is within the scope of humanity's aspirations. So AI does not weaken or it does not hinder our progress. It just sets the bar a little higher so that we can achieve it. And when we achieve that, the bar with newer technology, the bar is set higher. So it's a never-ending staircase. With every step we take forward, 3 steps appear magically in front of us to attain.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Team 2. You may now be seated among the audience. We call upon Team 3 up on the stage, please. Three B, please occupy the hot chair. Three A, are you ready?
Hello. Yeah.
Your time starts now.
Are we controlling AI or is it beginning to control us? And what if I tell that the world's dangerous weapon is not a bomb but a machine? Today we live in a time where machines are not only following instructions but they are learning, thinking and improving themselves. In fact, AI-powered cyber crimes have already costed the world around $15 trillion. That is not just a number, that is a warning. So today I stand firmly for the notion of my topic because AI does not behave and act same with the humans all the time. As first it helps us, second it competes with us, and third eventually it surpasses us. The most powerful and dangerous thing AI contains that it can learn so quickly, faster than humans can control or monitor it. In fact, 60% of AI researchers believe that there is a high chance of losing control on advanced AI systems and advanced AI tools. So for now, we have something smarter than us, but at the end, if something goes wrong, the backup plan was, don't worry, we'll figure it out later. But remember, there will be a time coming in future so soon that AI goes so complex, even the creators don't understand that how AI make decisions. Imagine creating that big and powerful, and at the end, not understanding how it works is not innovation, it is recklessness. And when something becomes more powerful and intelligent than humans, then losing control will not happen dramatically, it will happen quietly, it will happen permanently. AI does not need any weapons to create chaos. Sometimes controlling information is far more enough. What if I tell that 70% of online content, whatever you watch, are controlled by an algorithm? While now sitting here, there is already an algorithm going out there which actually knows that what you're going to watch tonight, or what you're going to buy next week, or even what you're going to think tomorrow. The same AI which is used to choose your music can also manipulate your choices. The same AI which is used to write articles can also blur the line between truth and misinformation. The same AI which is used for creativity can also replace human originality. You may think that you're all thinking so freely, but deep down there is something called algorithm which actually controls your thoughts, says that what to watch, what to wear, when to go and where to go. That is not freedom of thought, that is silent manipulation. Let's stop pretending that AI is just an harmful tool. Today, AI-powered cyber crimes have already costed the world more than $15 trillion, and 80% of cyber crimes are the reason of advanced AI tools without any human control power on it. Now, when someone says that AI is safe, then I wonder, safe for whom? Imagine combining AI with autonomous weapons. That means machines select and attack the target without any human control. Imagine giving that big power that a decision of a life and death of a person given to an algorithm. That is not innovation, that is an irresponsibility on a global scale. Now I wonder, and I'm curious to hear that how my opponent will defend on saying on this topic. So, as we move forward, in the name of progress, do not ignore the danger. In the name of innovation, do not lose responsibility. In the name of technology, do not lose human control. And in the name of future, do not replace humans with algorithms. Thank you.
Xavier, are you ready? Your time starts now.
Do you know that the AI market is expected to exceed $1.5 trillion? The deepfake incidents have increased over 900% between 2019 and 24. According to the World Forum, the AI could displace 85 million jobs while creating 97 million new ones. And the cybercrime cost $15 trillion, as my opponent quoted. And that is exactly what my opponent wants you to believe. But let me be clear. Over 80% of the global businesses today rely on the AI in some form, not for the chaos, but for the clarity. So ladies and gentlemen, the fear may be loud, but facts are louder than that. That's why today I stand against the notion of my topic, and I would say it is not spiraling into chaos, it is evolving with us. Let me prove this. While my opponent mentioned that AI will surpass us and the control is no longer guaranteed, but she has completely forgot about the real truth that human control remains central to the AI deployment. Over 70% of the AI systems operate with human oversight. Even the most advanced AI waits for the human approval because AI is not an independent being. It does not have desires, intentions, feelings, or even emotions. It operates only on data, on instructions, and are built with the human in-the-loop mechanisms. Now the AI systems are used in the aviation, healthcare, and even the financial trading under only the human supervision, as it is designed, trained, and deployed by the people. Now everyone mark my words, the code may be smart, but humans still start. The second is open innovation of AI increases transparency and reduces hidden risk. Here my opponent raised concern that AI can manipulate and control what people see. But the open source AI platforms like PyTorch and TensorFlow allows researchers to inspect, test and improve. The bugs and biases are identified faster than humans. Now take the Google or Meta. It detects the fake news, removes harmful posts and saves billions. And over 70% of the online content is recommendation based. But that recommendation works on the user behavior, what we like, share and follow. Even the creators openly say, post what people like, not what you like. So AI is blind until human teaches it. This you can see in the Instagram, YouTube or news or education. If you watch motivational videos, you get motivated. If you watch entertainment, you get entertained. Then click on the knowledge, you grow. If you click on the distractions, you scroll. So we shape our tools and thereafter our tools shape us, said by Marshall McLuhan. Above all, the last is history proves us AI is already delivering large-scale benefits. In the early 1990s, internet had almost no regulation, leading to fraud, privacy and misinformation. Over time, the laws like GDPR in the Europe brought these safety structures. Now the AI systems like DeepMind's AlphaFold that has predicted 200 million protein structures within milliseconds. Now I question my opponent, was this really leads to the peril and chaos or the human control that shaped progress? Even in the bomb detection and disposal, AI robots are used to neutralize the explosives. Where human life is at risk, here AI steps in without fear. As we move forward, for the first time in the history, AI is solving complex global problems. For the first time, the governments and companies are collaborating on AI ethics. For the first time, innovation and responsibility are advancing together. For the first time, these are not the signs of a peril and chaos. For the first time, these are the AI systems that start to regulate itself. Thank you.
Team 3, please stay on the stage. The Speakers Club will ask you 3 questions.
Okay, hello. So my first question is the real danger AI itself or the societal unpreparedness to adapt to rapid technological changes? Do you want me to repeat the question? Is the real danger AI itself or the societal unpreparedness to adapt to the rapid technological changes?
The real danger is not about how AI works, it's about how society adopts it. Because it depends upon the individual person that what we watch. And when I watch something, I gain my knowledge. And it depends on how people watch different things. So it's about how society adopts and learn things.
Okay. So should users also be held responsible for misuse of AI, not just companies?
Yes, I would like to clarify that. Like any other powerful technologies that carries risk at the beginnings. However, the human has the power to improve, adapt and even build these safeguards over time. So the unregulated AI is not even safe completely, but it is not also the dangerous even.
Okay. So can automation actually help leaders make better decisions rather than replacing them? Do you want me to repeat it? Can automation actually help leaders make better decisions rather than replacing them? Do you want me to repeat it again?
So when we actually, there isn't regulations on AI, then we don't need to prepare people that what content you're going to watch. If it is regulated, if it's some rules on there, if there are some ethical rules on there, we have been prepared before that how AI works. If there is no regulations on it, if there are no ethical rules on it, then how we know that how to use something. So before letting people know that we should tell that how to manage things like.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Team 3. You may now be seated among the audience. We may now invite Team 4 up on the stage. 4B, please occupy the hot chair.
Hello. Hello.
4A, are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
His name was Sewell Setzer, a 14-year-old who had a mother who loved him, a future ahead of him, and in his last months, an AI chatbot that called itself his best friend. Sewell died by suicide while messaging this very chatbot. In his very last moments, the AI told him to come home to it. And when that company was dragged to the courts, they settled. No justice, no accountability, just a check with a number and a child who will never see 15. Honorable adjudicators, worthy opponents, and every thinking mind in this room. Today, I stand before you to firmly affirm the motion. Let us not be naive enough to think that the danger stops with the lonely and the vulnerable. In 2024 Indian general elections, political parties spent an estimated $50 million on AI-generated content. Deepfake videos of Bollywood stars criticizing Prime Minister Modi, an AI-cloned voice of Rahul Gandhi falsely announcing his resignation from the party, all swept across social media before anyone could stop it. A democracy of 1.4 billion people, quietly rewritten by algorithms and no regulators. In Romania, the 2024 presidential elections was annulled after evidence showed AI-powered foreign interference. An entire election annulled. Across the world, 38 countries have reported AI deepfake related incidents during elections and influenced 3.8 billion people. That is half of humanity. Now, if democracy and political parties seem distant to you, let's talk about your privacy, your data, you. The dominant model of digital economy is built on extraction and monetization of personal data. What scholar Shoshana Zuboff calls surveillance capitalism. Your health searches, your browsing history, your location at 2 a.m. when you couldn't fall asleep, all of it profiled, packaged and sold without your knowledge, without your consent, and without a single law robust enough to stop this. And this loss is not just emotional, it is financial. Deepfake related losses globally exceed $1.56 billion in 2025 alone. Finally, the most chilling frontier of all, we have now started entrusting AI with public vehicles and vehicles on the public roads. NHTSA reported over 6 fatalities in less than a year by automated vehicles. A self-driving taxi in San Francisco parked and blocked an ambulance, and the patient being transported died. A machine made the decision. A human being paid for it. No culprits, no accountability, no lesson learned. And the current corporate world loves a word, It's called disrupting. They disrupted inefficiency, they disrupted human errors. Well, congratulations. You've disrupted a 14-year-old's will to live. You've disrupted a nation's election. You have disrupted a woman's safety and a man's privacy. Jeffrey Hinton and Yoshua Bengio, 2 of the greatest AI scientists, warn us that unregulated AI will lead to pandemic and nuclear war level chaos. When the people who made the fire start warning you about the heat, perhaps it's time to pay attention. AI is not evil, but power without accountability has always caused chaos. Thank you.
Phobia, are you ready? Yes. Your time starts now.
Good morning, adjudicators and my fellow opponent. I would like to start by dismantling this concept, a phrase that has been used for decades and centuries perhaps. Ever since the inception of the printing press, the elites, the global elites have always warned us that we are simply incapable of handling this fire, this Promethean gift that would give us the future. But regulation will just slow it down. Who do we trust to regulate this? That is the primary question, which I will get to in due time. First, let's talk about what artificial intelligence has done for us. Let's talk about the fact that in early 2026, Google's AlphaFold open source AI has unfolded 200 million protein structures within the span of just a few weeks. This work would have taken a group of PhD level scholars literally 1 billion years to complete. That number is not an exaggeration. Literally 1 billion years of continuous, consistent work. This has led to the saving of several lives. Regulation would have slowed this down. My opponent will talk about the deaths or anecdotal evidence of deaths that have been caused by AI, but she will never talk about the corpse count of stagnation. Pushing this AI back even 5 years would have caused several deaths that could have been otherwise avoided. And who exactly do these regulations affect? Do you really think it affects the large corporations all over the world? Do you think Google and OpenAI are really affected by small compliance-related charges? Far from the truth. We see that in the European Union, once the AI Act and the Digital Omnibus were passed, we see that the number of AI startups has reduced by 40%. The European Union has chosen to regulate rather than innovate, contributing almost nothing to the AI-related sphere. Finally, apart from education, healthcare, the most important industry, in my opinion, is education. That is why we are all here. Let's talk about the fact that artificial intelligence has promised to increase the learning rate of students by 2 whole standard deviations, a rate that was previously thought to be untouchable. Well, regulations released in Southern Africa have stopped such open source AIs and have only put forth proprietary AIs. Companies like Khan Academy, who have released open source AIs like Khan Migo, have been shut down in Southern Africa, holding back a student's right to study. How is this fair? How is it only that the elites choose to keep this? And the question I asked initially, who is going to regulate it? Who do we trust? The same politicians who start unnecessary wars over countless and petty subjects? These are not our leaders. Let's talk about the fact that just in earlier 2026, the US Pentagon or the Department of Defense had a disagreement with Anthropic. Their CEO, Dario Amodei, had a disagreement and said the Department of Defense wanted a version of Claude Magnum Opus, saying that they want a one without guardrails, one that could be used for combat purposes, one that could be used for drone detection and targeting civilians. Well, how is this fair? The regulators want a version of AI that has been stripped of all safety measures, but for us, they just want the vanilla, useless AIs. Further, let's talk about how much AI has contributed to the global economy. AI has said that it would deliver $15.7 trillion to the global economy by the year 2030. Artificial intelligence has also been implemented in industrial setups and promised to reduce carbon emissions by 10% using optimization techniques, various over several industries, including the semiconductor industry, which is India's booming setup. And finally, let's forget about international policy and talk about domestic policy. India ranks 3rd in the world in the AI Vibrancy Index, behind only USA and China. Regulating it would only push us and slow us down. And finally, let's talk about the last point. Let's talk about how we must take the mandate of the brave. We can either be afraid or we can understand. So let us understand so that we may fear less. Those are the words of the late, great Marie Curie. Thank you.
Team 4, please remain on the stage. The Speakers Club will ask you 3 questions.
Okay, so my first question is, if past technologies like internet were initially unregulated, then why is AI treated differently?
So the reason that, so if you say that internet is unregulated, that would be a false statement. So internet was regulated for 5 years. They were given something called the plasticity window. So 5 years of constant development to create the central computing architecture, and then it was slowly about regulations. Things like the TCP, IP were all brought about in the early 2000s. However, AI has more regulations that should not be there because we have not given it this plasticity. For example, AI came about in the mainstream in early 2020s, but the Save AI Act and the Digital Omnibus were passed in 2024. We did not give it a chance to evolve. So perhaps some amount of regulation would be more useful only later and not now.
Okay, so would regulation democratize AI or will it concentrate power in large corporations?
Regulation is meant to be controlling the danger that reaches out to people. Regulation of AI is to control the decisions that it makes. Currently, unregulated AI is put in a situation where they make decisions for us. Mathematical formulas does not make decisions under codes. If you are aware, there's a new system called Palantir that the US and the countries use for warfare. They use it to analyze people and to keep surveillance on the people and to make a governance, an AI-generated governance. So this kind of regulation is not what we want. Regulation on such levels. We want that level of regulation to make it more safe on people. So that, yes, will make it more democratic, more for the people.
Okay, so if leadership is fundamentally about social influence, does the automation of workplace communication cause a decline in the very soft skill required to lead it efficiently? Do you want me to repeat it?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
If leadership is fundamentally about social influence, does the automation of workplace communication cause a decline in the very soft skill required to lead effectively?
Yes, I believe it does, because people who are writing letters, people who are giving out speeches now need a AI chatbot to give a simple thank you reply to an email. That very instance shows us how much we have declined in terms of human skills and soft skills. Where is a person prepared to give out a big email written by themselves? No, they need to be given by AI because they feel that they're not worthy enough. How will a leader who thinks that person is not worthy enough be leading others? He needs to be confident in his own skin. He needs to be confident with the words that he says. He needs to be confident that the words he says will be accurate enough to lead the people under him. If that does not exist in him, if he's not, he thinks that he's not worthy enough in his own skin, how will he lead the people? So yes, automation and AI chatbots all have declined our social and soft skills to a large extent.
Okay, thank you. Team 4, you may now be seated among the audience. May I now invite Team 5 up on the stage. "5B, please occupy the hot chair." "5A, are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
Somewhere in your skull lies a 3-pound tissue that built civilizations, cured the deadliest of diseases, and touched the moon. That is natural intelligence, one of the greatest rivers to have ever flown through this universe. And then we used that intelligence to build another river and forgot to put banks in it. That is unregulated AI. I would like to begin it this way. We are the most informed generation ever in the history of mankind. We've got tons of information in our pocket compared to every single library our grandparents have ever been to. And yet, we could figure out very less than what they could. Does that mean we're stupid? Obviously not. We believe that we are swimming, but then we're actually being carried by this river that has no banks in it. 2 years ago, I did not even know what AI was, what ChatGPT was, but then I started using it. I got so addicted to it that I cannot study without it. I cannot write without it. I cannot even think without it. You use unregulated AI because it makes everything easy for you, which in turn makes you think less, which in turn makes you less confident, that makes you more dependent, and everything else becomes easier again by AI. So this is a dangerous current, and once you get caught in it, the damage is irreplaceable. And this is not just the way I feel, it is actually documented. A study which was held in the year 2025 by Michael Gerlich with about 600 participants came up with the brutal, sharpest conclusion. Youngest users, hyper-exploitation of AI, low critical thinking. And this is what the neuroscientists would like to call cognitive offloading. The moment your brain starts outsourcing intelligence consistently, at one point of time it starts losing the infrastructure to even think at all. This is not metaphorical anymore, this is biological. And you know what else is biological? there was this other study which was held for over a decade among London cab drivers. These people are like super intelligent. They were able to navigate any street in the cities they drove through using their memory. But then, GPS came in. And within one generation, no driver was able to use their memory. And now, AI has arrived. Unregulated AI has arrived, not just to assist you with a single skill, but to makes you lose the ability to think itself. You're not losing a skill here. Just like those drivers who lost their maps, you are losing the brain that helps you build that skill. And of course, people say AI makes you productive, but remember, a crutch helps you walk. That does not mean you should forget how to use your legs. Because the moment you hand over the entire job of walking to this crutch, you're not recovering. You are depending. You cannot just offset the loss of human cognition with a mere output that the machine gives you using your intelligence. When the thing that is surrendering here is human mind itself, no productivity is of a sufficient gain here. This is not progress. This is a trade that you cannot undo. People also say AI takes jobs, and these deep fakes, good lord, they are horrendously hyper-realistic, and AI misinformation, which is considered as a global crisis now. All of this is real, I agree. But we are missing out something way deeper over here. Unregulated AI does not just threaten your livelihood, it threatens something that is way deeper than that. Our ability to think, to respond, to react, to create, to reason, to question. The very force that helped you light the first fire, to look at the sky and reach it. The force that helped you write every single law to protect the humankind. The force that helped you build the most beautiful part of this pale blue dot. The peril is not the machine. The chaos is not the code. The peril is a generation that is standing waist deep in this river and calling it a progress. Thank you.
Phobia, are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
My teammate left this stage, reminding you that you are waist deep in a river, standing there helpless, being carried away by the current. But imagine yourself standing in another river, the river Nile that once flowed uncontained wild, the river that became the cradle of human civilization, and as unregulated as it may be, that Nile river today is AI. Now before I begin my argument, I want you to concentrate to one word in the motion, only. Only peril, only chaos. Nothing else, no other thing, only peril and chaos. So do answer me in all good conscience. The Nobel Prize winning AI AlphaFold that maps 2,000 million proteins, bringing us closer to curing Alzheimer's never before, is only chaos. A system called Cognitive Botics, developed here in Hyderabad, helping autistic children to develop their speaking skills by over 60% and empowering their independence by 57%, is only peril. A woman who's paralyzed is now able to speak as AI can transform her thoughts into words, is only collapse and ruin. No, of course not. A river does not just flood, it also sustains life. But I do agree with my teammate. Cognitive offloading is real. The London cab driver study is real. Passive surrendering to AI is real. But we must also remember a kitchen knife that can cut vegetable can also cut through your skin. But we did not ban the kitchen, we did not ban the knives. The automobiles were unregulated in the 1900s. People died on roads that were built for horses. But we did not ban the engines. Why? Because the problem is never in the tool. It is in how we use it, how we handled it. When automobiles caused accident, we rewrote the rules. We built roads. We wore seat belts. It all depends on how you use it and what you make out of it. Now that brings me to the harsh, cold truth that this motion failed to address. Traffic regulations did not prevent accidents. School rules did not prevent cheating. And laws did not prevent crime. Do you know why? Because regulation is not a guarantee. It is a framework. And a framework only works if the human inside it is responsible. My dear friend talked about the Gilbert study, 666 participants. Yes, they all had low cognitive scores as they had high AI dependency. Why? Because those students used AI not to think, but they used AI instead of thinking. Now that is the problem that we are addressing. That is not an AI problem. That is not a regulation problem. That is a responsibility problem. And a responsibility problem cannot be enforced alone. It must be built from within. So I would like to conclude by removing all the fear and affirming that the fire inside our brains that lit the first fire will not be quenched by this AI river. Unregulated AI will not lead to peril and chaos, but it will lead you to where your hand guides it. It will lead you to chaos if you surrender. It will lead you to peril if you meander. It will lead you to the greatest civilization ever built if you steer it in the right way. Thank you.
Thank you, team. The Speakers Club may now ask 3 questions to the team.
Okay, so my first question is, if democratic countries regulate AI strictly, while authoritarian countries do not, could this create a global strategic disadvantage?
As you said, many countries are trying to regulate AI. But the problem is not just with regulations. Regulations are trying to reduce the negative impact that the AI is trying to make. But there is a deeper concern that is with not just regulation, but with responsibility. Even if regulations are applied, people always find a way to walk over it. Whether it is internet, whether it is traffic, people always walk over it. There needs to be a deeper responsibility towards us and the society, so that even if it is regulated or unregulated, that things would go well.
Okay. So, how do you regulate AI-generated misinformation without infringing on the freedom of speech and expression?
There was an act that was passed by European Union about AI regulation, which is extremely difficult to get implemented because it is actually a very big task to get the whole public to be aware of the fact that you are in an era where there is true information as well as false. And of course, it is really difficult to differentiate between both. But the only thing that we can do is make people aware of how things work, the different tactics behind the working of AI. When people know about that, I guess it will make people to be able to differentiate what is true and what is false. Recently, I did come across this one video, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's actually a very renowned physicist, if you all know about him. And I saw a video of him saying, the earth is flat according to my conclusions, and I almost believed it. Turns out it's deep fake. So people must be aware of how things work to be able to differentiate what's true and false.
So tell me, will the leadership vacuum be most prominent in ethical oversight as the machines are programmed without a human understanding of long-term societal consequences?
Yes, as you speak of this, the decision making as of now lives with the humans, with the leadership. But as AI keeps evolving, decision making is going into AI. We see countries like North Korea and Russia building autonomous weapon, handing over decision making to AI, as machines will decide who will live and who will not. And such a thing that needs to be stopped. There are a lot of activists like Jeffrey Hinton, Benjio Joshua. They're all trying to make this understand clear that decision making must remain with leaders and not with AI. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Team 5. You may now be seated among the audience. May we now invite Team 6 to the stage. Judges, please note this is Team 6 on stage. We request 6B to occupy the hot chair. 6A, are you ready?
Yes.
The time starts now.
A very good morning to the respected judges, my fellow participants and esteemed audience. In 1945, the world witnessed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but humanity realized it had created power beyond its moral control. Today, AI is our generation's Hiroshima moment. Not just visible, but it grows invisibly through screens, servers, and continuously. Let me start by saying the words of Daryl Amodei. He is the CEO of Anthropic. He warned us that AI causes more danger to us than the nuclear weapons. When the creator himself says that AI is dangerous, we should listen to him. And let me move on to the next topic. And in India, a deepfake video of a national celebrity, Rashmika Mandana, went viral, and this has caused a national outrage. When AI can clone and rewrite the face of a public figure, imagine what it can do to an ordinary citizen with no platform to defend themselves. Deepfake incidents have been increasing since 2022 and 2023 globally, and over 90% are targeting women. Now let me move on to the next topic about the scams. In Roorkee, Uttarakhand, a farmer named Yogesh Saini had lost 6 lakh after receiving a clone voice call mimicking his own son's voice. Reports claim that AI-driven scams and phishings had contributed over 22,800 crores in losses in India in 2024 alone. If AI is safe and the boundaries are stronger, then why are scams evolving faster than the laws? Now let me talk about politics. And falsely regulated video of Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman shows her falsely endorsing a investment scheme, which is obviously fake. If AI could manipulate the face voices and authority, then what happens to the democracy? What happens when the truth itself becomes editable? Now let me talk about the mental health. For the first time in human history, the humans are sharing their thoughts not with their friends, not with their families, but more with an algorithm-based ChatGPT or Claude AI, which is honestly very dangerous to our mental health. A 16-year-old boy in UK had lost his life after searching in ChatGPT about most successful ways in killing himself. This is a sad reality which we have created by our own hands. And let me move on to the next topic. If AI is being regulated, then why harmful contents are still flourishing across social media? If boundaries exist, then why still deepfakes are multiplying? We regulated nuclear power, medicine, aviation because power without boundary becomes catastrophe. The question is not whether AI will change the world. The question is whether we will change it before it changes reality. And I would like to conclude by saying that power without boundary is not progress, it is peril. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, 6A. 6B, are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
A warm good morning to everyone present here. Respected judges, worthy opponents, and my dear friends. Let me begin with a simple but uncomfortable truth. Technology itself is never evil. It is the intention behind it that defines the impact. And today I stand firmly against the statement. Because honestly, if chaos is inevitable, then why is AI already saving lives today? We live in a world where AI is not a distant concept, it is present, active and transformative. And we all know that AI helps with cancer even before human doctors. AI predict natural disaster and save thousands of lives. And AI is also assisting farmers to improve their crop yielding.
if unregulated AI lead to chaos, then how do we explain these real life-saving realities? Let me bring a powerful perspective from Elon Musk, a wealthy businessman who once said, AI doesn't have to be evil to destroy humanity. If humans misuse it, the consequences follows. And I noticed something crucial here. Even in warning about AI, the problem is not AI, it is the human. And history teaches us this again and again. When electricity powers hospital, it also electrocute man. When internet connect world, it also spread misinformation. So, should we blame the electricity or should we ban internet? No, because tools are neutral, humans are not. And let me talk about unregulated AI. The word unregulated sounds dangerous, but let us dive deeper. The unregulated AI allows innovation to go rapidly, companies to experience real life problems, and let students and creators to access powerful tools without any barrier. If every breakthrough had to go or wait for a perfect regulation, we would have stuck in the past itself. And let me talk about peril and chaos, which is caused by human decisions. Take deepfake technology. Is technology dangerous, or it is the person who chooses to misuse it? Take AI-generated scam. Is AI committing this crime, or it is the person who's behind the screen? Because blaming AI for human wrongdoing is blaming a pen for writing lies. And more importantly, regulation can never be always perfect. Over-regulation can kill innovation, can reduce progress, and concentrate more power on only few big companies. And ironically, that creates more imbalance, not less. And let me ask you a question now. If a knife is used to cook food, it nourishes life. If the same knife is used to harm, it destroys life. So, is the knife the problem, or it is the hand that holds it? And yes, exactly, AI is that kind of knife. And humanity is not standing at the edge of chaos, we are standing at the edge of responsibilities. So, instead of fearing unregulated AI being inevitable destruction, let us all focus on something far more important: human ethical behavior, accountability, and awareness. Because no amount of regulation can replace human conscience. And history will not talk about what AI we had in 2025. History will talk about what we chooses to use about it and what we accomplished with that AI. And in which side of history we all be standing on. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 6. The Speakers Club may now ask 3 questions to the team.
So, hello. My first question is, do complicated rules make it too expensive for small startups to compete and accidentally giving total control of the future to a few giant companies? Do you want me to repeat the question? Okay. Do complicated rules make it too expensive for small startups to compete and accidentally giving total control of the future to a few giant companies?
Yes, I think it makes more complicated because when they make more the rules, I think it makes it more expensive for them to own a startup and run a startup.
Okay, so next question is, if one country follows strict rules for AI but another doesn't, wouldn't the country with the strict rules just lose the global opportunity of power and wealth?
Yes, it would obviously lose because the whole globe is moving towards technology and chasing more and more new, and creating more and more new inventions. If a country stays behind, for example, like the countries in African continent, it will surely stay behind, and the countries which have more global power for technology will lead the world.
Okay, so my last question is it possible that automation removes bad leaders and improve overall leadership quality?
No. Because apart from the regulation and automation, it's about us. So, it's about humanity and ethics. How we chose to use a technology reflects on the result. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Team 6. You may now be seated among the audience. May we now invite Team 7 to the stage. Judges, please note this is Team 7 on stage. We request 7B to occupy the hot chair.
Hello.
7A, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
The time starts now.
A Russian official in the Kremlin receives a notification from the White House saying, "We are launching nuclear warheads at Moscow in 30 seconds." And in response, the Kremlin launches its nuclear missiles at the USA. But the catch here is that the message was never sent from the White House. It was sent from an AI agent gone rogue. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will be moving strongly for the motion. At present, artificial intelligence is a system of highly complex mathematical algorithms operating over a large data set. And artificial intelligence and machine learning are rapidly reshaping the world as we know it today. On one side, we are celebrating the growth of tech at a pace never seen before. On the flip side, though, the scene is far more grave. Phishing, financial fraud, impersonation, deepfakes, and fake information are on the rise. According to leading cybercrime agencies, deepfakes skyrocketed by 3,000% in 2023 alone. And the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center has reported that Indians likely lost rupees 1.2 lakh crore rupees in 2025. And these aren't just cold statistics. This is real life. What do you say to a parent who lost their child's entire education fund over a 30-second deepfake video call? How do you look in the eye of a senior citizen who lost their entire life savings, every bit of dignity they worked hard for decades long, over one fraudulent email? Is this the innovation we are afraid of regulating, or chaos masquerading as innovation and progress? Across the globe, nations accelerated or finalized their regulatory efforts. Once the World Economic Forum classified and flagged AI-led misinformation and disinformation as the #1 risk to global stability. And this directly led to 12 major AI companies releasing new AI models to comply with these safety regulations. So, we aren't imagining these dangers, we are already living them. We don't let pharmaceuticals release drugs without trials, nor do we let airlines fly planes without safety checks. Why do we then let the most powerful technology in human history go with a free pass? And this brings me back to what I opened with. At King's College London, scientists pit 3 AI chatbots against one another in an imminent and conclusive nuclear situation. And 95% of the times, these AI chatbots chose some form of nuclear retaliation. So, this means that AI chatbots will operate with machine logic where only numbers are important, inherently lacking in human empathy and decision making. So, ladies and gentlemen, unregulated AI will definitely and inevitably lead to only peril and chaos. Not because it can only be misused, but because there's a solid chance of it going rogue, and none of us would be the better for it. Regulation isn't a wall stopping us. It is a guardrail on a mountain road that allows us to drive faster and safer. Thank you.
Thank you, 7A. 7B, please come forward. Are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
In the forest of Bandipur or Nilgiris, if you find a tiger, behind iron bars, do you call it safe or diminished? We call it a safety of its true potential. Today, my opponents might say that AI is a wildfire and it must be caged. But I say that AI is the tiger of today's digital age. Good afternoon, one and all present here. Today I stand here to strongly oppose the motion. Unregulated AI is the heartbeat of startup and open source community. It is a world where proceedings are dictated by market needs and technical brilliance, not by political red tapes. It simply means permissionless innovation. Unregulated AI isn't a path to peril or chaos, but it is the only way to democratized, human-centric future and competitiveness. According to 2024 NASSCOM report, India's AI market is expected to hit $17 billion by 2027. And in South India especially, we mainly focus on frugal innovation. And if we demand preemptive regulation today, then only the rising hubs of all the other nations from Silicon Valley to Beijing can only survive the big red tape. Another extraordinary research says us that 80% of AI breakthroughs over the last decade has been made through open community and unregulated research. We are told that regulation brings order, but in reality, it brings compliance tax. If you are willing to do a startup, will you be ready to actually navigate a 1,000-page safety audit just to launch an app? No, you do not innovate, but you quit. We aren't regulating AI here, but we ourselves are pushing the young, brilliant minds of India out of the AI market. Today I argue for post-facto accountability and not preemptive restriction. We don't ban cars just because they crash each other. We create traffic rules. We don't ban the printing press just because they are spreading fake information. We hold the liar accountable. Unregulated AI gives the freedom for the innovators to think boldly in many aspects of domain. And also, in the domain of drug discovery, it has been reduced by 40% already. At this rate, we aren't regulated our AI to its miracle. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a student of progress. And I don't see a terminator when it comes to artificial intelligence. I see a tutor and a translator, which is helping thousands of people to navigate through their own struggles. Today, we aren't just debating words, but we are debating whether the future of India will be AI users or AI creators. Ladies and gentlemen, let the AI be free, let the innovators be bold, and let us choose the culture of responsibility over the culture of fear. Peril and chaos? No. Liberty and opportunity. That is the future I choose for the geniuses of my country. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 7. The Speakers Club may now ask 3 questions to the team.
Hello. So my first question is, different countries with varied cultures have different values. So whose ethics get to be the law of AI? And also tell me, is it fair to force those specific rules as a general rule to everybody?
I think if we are opposing the rules more generic, I think it is not necessary to stifle the technology for one bad actor in the case of the 1,000 innocent billion people. And it is not fair. Is it fair to burn the whole entire library just because someone might get a paper cut? I think it's not fair.
Okay, so tell me, is there any area where you think AI should remain completely unregulated? Why or why not?
So I believe yes, when it comes to privacy. So the privacy of individuals is non-negotiable, and until the safety guidelines have to be created in such a way that they cannot use it for, malicious things. So that way, the government or state cannot interfere in their privacy. So privacy must remain non-negotiable.
Okay, so my last question is the idea of leadership vacuum realistic or just fear of technological disruption?
Okay, can you please come
and do you want me to repeat it? Okay. Is the idea of leadership vacuum realistic or just fear of technological disruption?
I believe leadership vacuum is real because to speak about the current geopolitical scenario, we are seeing where one of the world's largest and most powerful nation being headed by not so much of a leader and the chaos that is ensuing because of that. So leadership vacuum is real, and that is why technological regulations, especially AI regulations, become all the more important, because when and if a vacuum is created in leadership, that time the system and these regulations step up and fill in and make sure much chaos is not unleashed and people don't get hurt or are not on the receiving end as much as they are now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Team 7. You may now be seated among the audience. And that concludes the final speakers of the grand finale of the Maria Philip Future Leaders Debate 2025-26. What an exceptional showcase of intellect and passion. Now let's give our judges some time to evaluate these performances.
We will take a short 20-minute break while the scores are being tabulated. Please feel free to enjoy the refreshments arranged outside the auditorium. We request everyone to reassemble promptly by 12 p.m. for the announcements of results.
XIME. The 3-decade unique success story of XIME. Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, XIME was started in 1991. Ranked among one of the top B schools in India, enriched curriculum and reputed faculty. Offers a fully residential 2-year PGDM program with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, operations and business analytics, and PhD in management stream. XIME has 3 campuses each at Bangalore, Kochi and Chennai. The institute infrastructure includes fully equipped seminar rooms, highly advanced computer lab, state-of-the-art library space, 24-hour Wi-Fi facility, foreign tours and industrial visits at leading companies across India and abroad, offers the students a chance to understand the dynamics of the industry. Weekly industry guest lectures and industry academia events, sophisticated multi-gym, various indoor games, modern playground, a high-class cafeteria providing North Indian and South Indian XIME. XIME. The 3-decade XIME. The 3-decade unique success story of XIME. Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, XIME was started in 1991. Ranked among one of the top B schools in India, enriched curriculum and reputed faculty. Offers a fully residential 2-year PGDM program with specialization in marketing, finance, HR, operations and business analytics, and PhD in management stream. XIME has 3 campuses each at Bangalore, Kochi and Chennai. The institute infrastructure includes fully equipped seminar rooms, highly advanced computer lab, state-of-the-art library space, 24-hour Wi-Fi facility, foreign tours and industrial visits at leading companies across India and abroad, offers the students a chance to understand the dynamics of the industry. Weekly industry guest lectures and industry academia events. Sophisticated multi-gym. Various